Yo, what's good, boys? Today I did end up taking one trade, and it was a break even. Ended up playing full take profit, but it's all good. Second day in a row it's happened, but we're trying to learn from these different lessons, and we will continue. So, pretty much in going into today, we had 8:30 news at PPI at 8:30, and then prelim, which is medium impact news, is at 10 o'clock, right? And this is a Friday. This is the last day of the week. So I'm not expecting the best price action after we, meet the TGIF, objective, right? So going into the day, I marked out the TGIF. TGIF is pretty much, thank God it's Friday. So you want to, if you don't know about it already, you want to mark out go on the weekly chart and go from, the current low of the week to the high of the week, right? You may need to adjust this correctly because sometimes, right there, right? And you want to make sure your fib has the 20% level and the 30% level, right? Just copy those settings if you want to. And pretty much, I'm wanting to see price return in between, or either the 20% level or the 30% level of the weekly candle range, correct? So overnight, we already hit the 20%, and I was still expecting for even lower, for us to end up taking out the 30% as well, just because we had high impact news. So going into today, marking out this 30% level, this is my main interest point. So let me mark this out so you don't have to see that trash. So this is the TGIF 30% level, correct? Right, and this is my main target for the time being. And as you can see, just like a lot of the days this week, we've had a large expansion the day before, which is given us an easy understanding of ranges. So you mark out this low of yesterday, the prior day low, to the prior day high, right? This large expansion, right? Equilibrium in between, right? And yes, we do have many of you maybe saying that we have smooth highs up here. Yes, we do. But if you see that we had SMT, ES failed to swing this high. Right? This is Asia high. ES failed to swing. Right? We made a lower low. Let me show you. All right. Let me pull up the second. Sorry. Yeah. So my fault, boys. ES made the lower low. Nasdaq made the higher high. So again, SMT. All right. So with that in mind, I completely negated the fact that we had, smooth highs up here, right? I wanted to see lower prices to the TGIF. So when the news came out, I realized that, most likely we were going to have a Judas swing because we had no manipulation during London. Yes, we did have, Asia manipulation, but typically when there's Asia manipulation, Asia SMT, high time from SMT, I would like to see, that confirmation from New York. So we did end up getting the Judas swing that I wanted off of the open, off of the news release. Exactly what we got. And we had stacking high time frame bearish SMT, right? And my target was a TGI of 30%. So I wanted to see price continue to respect this 15-minute SIBI for a continuation lower, a 1-minute market maker sell model all the way to low. Because again, right, so 4-hour PD array to a 15-minute market maker model, right? Then it goes 15-minute PD array to a 1-minute market maker model, right? So when I had this in mind, we had this 50-minute SIBI holding pretty much the entirety of London session, right? Really obvious for value up. We held it the entirety of London session, manipulated once more, as you see right here, equilibrium of the range, once more, ran up into an extra confluence, 15-minute order block, respected, just wicked, and this 15-minute SIBI, bodies respected it, right? We never closed above this. We never inversed it. So from here, wanting to see a continuation lower to the TGI of 30% and possibly the prior week, or not prior week low, prior day low. And then from there on, we may form a high time from SMT for a continuation higher, or, in my analysis, I said most likely it's going to chop for the rest of the day, right? So pretty much just going over the trade. Again, 15-minute SIBI we were in, so I was expecting a 1-minute market maker sell model, right? So as you can see right here, we ran up, tapped into 50%, or the equilibrium of the range, formed the SMT at the highs, and what do you see right here that came out at 8:30, right? PPI news, data wick, data low right here, super obvious target. We ran higher, right? And we formed the SMT, ran into the equilibrium of the range, and we ran this buy side, right? don't care too much about buy side, but just keeping in mind that we have this data lower here, and even more, even more of a you know, confluence in us going lower. We engineered sell side. We had smooth lows right here on the 1 minute. This is a clean liquidity pool on the 1 minute. And it would be different if we ran lower off of the news open, the news release, and we manipulated and ran lower into these smooth lows and took them out. But we didn't. We failed to swing it, right? And we had no SMT at these lows. So I was wanting to see price run up, and then for us to have a setup lower to the smooth data lows, right? And then overall the TGI 30%. So what I did was I took this inversion right here. Right, this is a support turn resistance IFEG. So it was once used as support. So if you think about it, people are taking longs inside of this fair value gap. People that are on the wrong side of the market are taking longs inside this fair value gap. Right, whether they're trading ICT concepts or not. They're taking longs in this area, this gap. Right, and they're putting their stop loss below it, correct? Right, so this is why this is such a good inversion. Support turn resistance or resistance turned support IFEGs are the best. So once people are taking longs in this this fair value gap, they put their stop loss down here. They put their stop loss below these lows or whatever, right? And then price then runs away from it and then targets those stop losses, right? Targets that resting liquidity that was engineered once more at this failed swing to these smooth lows. So took this inversion, entered. It was about like right here ish. There's like 2 seconds left or some shit like that. Stop loss, close above, right here. And then I was targeting, I think it was about 2R, targeting, 2.1R, targeting the TGIF 30%. Right? And what went wrong here is that I exited the position. Let me turn on let me show you. I exited the position pretty much right here. Exit position like right here, right? And let me pull up the MQ chart real quick. I've learned a lot this week, bro. From taking one big loss, one full size loss, and then one extra like really minimized loss, and then one break even. I've learned a lot this week, and both of them should have been winning trades, but I got out due to emotion and fear of not just believing my bias, right? So yeah, so I entered right here shorts, 10 micros, and then exit right here, pretty much in break even. So what happened was that looking at the higher time frame, right? Looking at the higher time frame. Oh yeah, let me show you my break even spot first. My break even was supposed to be at this point, right? At these, shoot. My break even was supposed to be at this low, right? That's about halfway percent or halfway to my take profit. So typically that's where I put my my stop to break even is when we hit this level. And as you can see, we failed to run this low. So at this point, I trailed my stop to right here, which is, if price runs above this, most likely the trades, my bias is incorrect anyway. So trailing the stop halfway right here, risking about $250 at this point. But, my psychology's not been the best lately just because I've taken, 2 losses. I know I'm improving. I know I'm like understand the market. It's just these small issues along the way. And that's how you got to treat it, man. You got to just keep on going through the same thing every single day and knowing that you're getting better and learning more. All right, so engineered even more cells right here, but the thing was on the 15-minute. All right, this is where I messed up, and this is some free sauce right here, right? Getting rid of all this, looking at ES and looking for SMT. Any reason for me to put my stop to break even? I'm being for real. Any reason for me to put my stop to break even because I was just nervous. Even though I was pretty confident that we were gonna take out the TGI 30%. You can see right here that we're in an obvious range, right? An obvious accumulation. Okay, ever since 3:45 in the morning, we've been accumulating. This is not good price action on the high time frame, right? And typically, when you're looking for SMT for price to break out of this range for an accumulation, manipulation, distribution, AMD, and this is exactly what we got here. You want to see the external highs and lows of the range form the SMT, not the internals, right? And what I mean by that is that right here, okay, let me mark out this low. This is the external low of this accumulation, correct? And I mean it's all based on perspective, but I would consider this or this. I would consider this the external high of the range, correct? This is the accumulation right here. So what you need to do if you're in accumulation like this and you're trying to figure out where the SMT and which one would work, you need to wait until the external SMT is formed. The external high or low of the range is formed, right? So right here, you can see that we had this low. So it would be this low right here for ES and this high. Not really caring about the highs too much, okay? Focus on the lows. And at this point, this is where I was in the trade. Okay, I was at 8:45. This candle was where I was in the trade. Okay, at this point, we were about to inverse this 15-minute SIBI or 15-minute BISI. So that was an extra confluence, but I just didn't trust my analysis and didn't trust my trade enough. So as you can see right here, this is okay. So if this low is taken out when we formed SMT, this external of this accumulation, this external low, then yes, okay, that's where manipulation, that's where it's actually going to play out, and then distribution right after. But if you have an internal inside of this range, inside of the high and low, the range, if that makes any sense, we formed SMT right here. Because look, this low to this high, right? It's not that obvious, right? SMT right here. You want to see something like this. You want to see SMT like this to break out of a range, break out of an accumulation, right? Not some trashy accumulation and manipulation like from this, right? You don't want to see that, right? So looking back at that now, because I've had a lot of data on this, accumulation, manipulation, distribution, and how the SMTs work inside of the internal lows and internal highs of the range before the breakout. I should have known better, but I just overlooked it at the time. I was stressing a little bit. I was in the middle of a trade. It happens. But learning a lot from today, and that is the main reason why I ended up, not hitting full take profit on this trade. It's because it's because I messed up. It's because the break even, I got a little too fearful and I exited, without too much logic, right? And that's how we learn, right? We're gonna experience these things and they're gonna make us a better trader. Because next time I face with that problem, the majority, most likely, I hope, I will learn from it and I'll remember this moment that I took an L. I didn't take an L, but I missed out on $1,100. Um, because of a simple mistake. And again, all it was, I got stopped out by three points and 75 handles or 75 ticks. That's it. That's it. And then price ran 50 points and then hit my TP. All right. It's all good. It's all good. Again, same thing as yesterday, bro. You can't get mad at the market. You can't get mad at yourself. All right. These are lessons that we're going to learn, and it's going to take time to learn, right? It just matters if you actually learn from that lesson. If you don't do it the next time, that's what matters. Don't bang yourself up over making a really simple mistake. Man, all I'm glad about is me getting my analysis right. This trade is amazing. This trade was great. If I didn't decide to put my stop loss to break even, right here, and actually waited for my level that I set out for myself to hit before I put to break even, because I needed to wait for this sell side level for me to put my stop loss to break even, right? And once this hit, obviously price continued to dump. I would have never gotten stopped at a break even if I just held for this low. It's all good though, right? It's all good. We're learning these lessons so later we can be better traders. So yeah, right after this, we ended up, after taking out the TGI 30%, from the majority of my data, I can tell that typically when you take out the TGIF range of the week, typically price will go to like shit. Pretty much. It will turn on you and it will just start accumulating like crazy. But in this instance, price actually didn't. This was the Judas swing of the day. And again, it's all about adapting. You don't need to know your daily bias, right? Daily bias is a big myth. All right. You need to be able to understand possibly where price may go and not marry that bias. A lot of people say marry your bias. Do not marry your bias. Right? If you are extremely bullish or extremely bearish and you cannot see price going any lower than this, you're like, okay, I'm not taking a trade unless it's that. Okay, then I understand that. If you begin to really understand price, there's a few days where I'm like, okay, price really, like, it makes no sense for it to go any lower. I'm only looking for longs because if not, I'm taking a risky setup, right? We've been going lower the entire night. Why would I take a short in New York Open? That's just not smart, right? So again, you need to adapt. You need to adapt to what's being shown because you're not going to predict the market exactly, right? You're not going to predict exactly where it's going to go, right? Like to the tick. You're just not going to do that. I'm sorry, but you're not going to exactly, you're not a market maker, bro. You don't know exactly where it's going, where it's gonna hit, where it's gonna do this, where it's gonna do that, over and over and over again. You're not gonna do that, right? So you just need to be able to learn how to adapt to these different situations, all right? Because once, my bias is bearish, yes, because we formed all these SMTs at the highs. But once I saw that, okay, we distributed from this SMT, both of these SMTs, we distributed to the target, and I started to see price pump. I'm like, okay, like I'm not taking any trades because the data I've collected shows that typically price is not the best after we hit that range, after we hit the TGIF level. So once I saw this and I saw, okay, large we have large SMT right here, all right, large high time from SMT, and these are smooth highs, right? We already distributed from this SMT, so there's no use in really caring about this manipulation anymore. If we inverse the SIBI, we can possibly continue pushing higher. And that's exactly what happened. This is the daily power of three, right? We have accumulation overnight. We formed the manipulation right here, and then we distributed higher to these smooth highs. And I wanted to see the Friday high swept, but again, Friday, after hitting the TGIF, not the best price action, right? Once we pumped, took out this high, price went to garbage for the rest of the day. So, yeah, not the I wouldn't say that this week wasn't a good week. Yes, I did lose $546. But 2 weeks ago I made a lot. What? I made $1,000 2 weeks ago. Okay, like yes, I'm losing a lot, but I'm learning so much at the same time to where it doesn't affect me at all. I'm learning a lot, and at this point, it's a bunch of these small things. Again, it's these small things that I need to figure out. I know my bias the majority of the time, but the thing is that my executions, it's not pinpoint. It's not perfect right now. So I'm working on improving that, and that comes through lessons like these. But again, these trades, like I'm taking good trades. It's just the way I manage these trades is what I'm struggling with currently. Um, and I've been trying to work on what I can do to possibly fix this problem because both of these trades, yesterday, yesterday's trade and today's trade, were both unfortunate because this was yesterday. I made a video on this yesterday. I want to review it. I trailed my stop too close because I was nervous that we were going to continue accumulating and just stop me out in general because price wasn't doing very well right here. As you can tell, we just had a bunch of accumulation after me entering, and then got out, lost like I think $80 or $100, and then continued a full take profit. Right. I put my stop loss. I think it was like right here at this order block. And price ended up running out right here. Maybe like 4 or 5 points, pumped straight 115 points to my take profit level. Right. It's all good. Same thing happened today. Made a minor mistake. Managed my stop loss wrong. And then continue to full take profit, right? So I'm doing it right, but I'm just missing a few little small things, and that shouldn't bother you at all. If you begin to figure, how this stuff is starting to work out, you're really starting to trust yourself, and it's all good, bro. It's all good. You don't have to, stress so much about that stuff. If y'all want to join the Discord, this is it right here. It's pretty swagger. I'm not gonna lie. We got testimonials. We got the calendar I mark out. The different days to trade, general. I put my motivational stuff in here, like different words of wisdom as well. I got my analysis channel, my executions today. Again, called out the market pretty well. Executions. I send every single execution. My analysts, they're learning as well. They're doing pretty good, better than me. um, just different notes overall, psychology stuff. Free Notion templates as well. So straight sauce in here, boys. If y'all want to join this will be down in the description. And I hope you all have a blessed day. Peace out.